Drop in the chat, I promise. When you get that first win, just please make this promise to me that you take it in, that you savor it. Because if there's one thing I wish I could have done going back, it's just savor that first win. Okay. And I don't want you guys to lose out on that moment, because I can tell you right now, nothing, that first million, that first blah, blah, nothing will ever compare to that first win. Okay. Beautiful. By the way, cool. Beautiful. I promise. Beautiful. All right. Anyways, back to the presentation. The reason why I'm so proud of this is that because I just know it's such a pivotal moment in the lives of my customers. Now, usually whenever someone buys one of my digital products, they're usually in one of three situations. They're either working a job where they have little to no prospect of financial growth. So they know long-term, that's not what they want to be doing. However, they have bills to pay. Okay, we're all human. We all have bills to pay. And that is the only thing that pays their bills. So they can't simply quit. The second situation is very similar, but instead of a job, they're in university. Usually, they already know that what they're studying is not what they want to do for life, and they feel like they're missing valuable time that could be invested in starting their own thing. However, usually their parents are paying their tuition, and they don't have a viable reason to justify dropping out. Lastly, I also get a lot of people who are already working in well-paying jobs, sometimes self-employed or even small business owners, who already make good money, but they simply can't enjoy the fruits of their labor as they wish, because their work takes all their time and they are stuck to that physical location. Now, you might be in one of these three situations right now. The key point here is that in all these circumstances, they feel like they're not achieving their full potential. Most importantly, they feel as though someone else has the keys to their life. Someone else is in control. They are all trapped in what I call slaves to their own, or what I call as slaves to their own circumstances. Even though some of them are making quite a lot of money, okay, and they could be, it doesn't matter whether they're making a lot of money or they're not making much money at all. They still feel trapped in a life controlled by others while watching their true potential slip away. And this turning point that I mentioned is such a pivotal moment for them, because when they achieve that, that is the moment they get to reclaim ownership of their lives. It's the moment that they get to choose what they will do now. They're going to, if they're going to fire their boss, if they're going to quit university, stop having to respond to someone else, they get to decide on what they work on, where they work from, or if they even want to work in the first place, because they are now the ones in control. And there's nothing more liberating than experiencing this transformation in your own life. I know, trust me, I've been there. I experienced that myself when I was able to quit school and look my mom in the eyes and tell her, listen, mom, you don't have to work again, okay? You don't have to work any of those jobs ever again. From now on, I'm the one who takes care of us. And whatever you want or need, just tell me, okay? And you will have it. That's it. Your life is taken care of. You took care of me. You did your job. Now I'm doing my job. And for me, that's what the turning point is. And you can see right here, this is when I told my mom, actually, or officially when everything was signed off. I bought her dream house, which for me was like one of the most important things in my life. And you can see this is actually went back for Christmas, actually in the house that I bought her, the Harrods card. Actually, wait, actually, I've got something. I actually have it in my drawer. I look at it sometimes. This is my mom's old employee card at Harrods. And you know what's so crazy? Now at Harrods, we shop at this place called Penthouse, and you have to spend at least $250,000 a year. And by the way, guys, like, I'm not trying to show off here. Like, don't read too much into this. It's just the fact that, like, it's crazy because sometimes it doesn't really happen so much anymore. But a couple of years ago, when we first started shopping there, it's invite, private only section of Harrods, like, people used to come up to her and they're like, oh, like, Muminat, like, what do you do? You're not allowed up here, because they didn't realize that she doesn't work there anymore. And to me, that's what this is all for. And that should be your why. Like, all the flashy stuff, the watches, this, like, none of that shit matters at the end of the day. Now, if you succeed and you want to treat yourself, go for it. But just make sure you take care of the people that took care of you first. For me, that should always be the number one priority. So that's why when I say, when you achieve your turning point, you truly become ungovernable. Ungovernable because no one else will ever tell you what to do ever again. No boss will tell you what to do. No parents will control how you live your life. No one will put a price on yourself. No government will dictate how you should or should not live your life. And to me, that's really what it's all about. Now, with the last opportunity I presented to the market, Estimate, I helped tens of thousands of regular, everyday people achieve their turning point and create a legion of ungovernable individuals. We literally changed the entire online business industry with this model. All of that to say that when I present a new opportunity to market, it usually causes a deep and profound change and allows thousands of people positioned in the right place at the right time to take advantage of it, even if they don't have any previous experience or have never made a dollar online. And I believe that what I'm about to present to you is the biggest online opportunity to date, at least 100 times bigger than SMA. And I'm actually going to prove that with numbers. Now, in case you didn't know, I've also made money with service-based online businesses. I own multiple physical product businesses. I'm literally wearing one of my companies right here, my eyewear company. I own a few software companies myself, and I invest in many more. And I have one of the most successful YouTube channels in this industry with over 5 million subscribers. I've also been a top affiliate and earned millions for offers like GHL, ClickFunnels, Shopify, etc. All of that to say that when it comes to making money online, I've tried and succeeded with it all. So I can speak from an unbiased perspective. So I know exactly what works, what doesn't, what it takes for it to work, and most importantly, what is working right now. I've seen the ups and the downs of this industry. And that is why I can safely say that in 2025, there's never been a better time to make money with digital products, because what used to take months when I first started can now be done in hours. What used to cost tens of thousands of dollars can now be done for practically nothing. Most of the manual work can now be fully automated, all thanks to AI. Now, normally, I wouldn't even consider telling you to get into digital products, because that has a very high barrier to entry. It's historically been a very high barrier to entry business, especially for beginners. But because of these unusual circumstances of the new non-expert economy, it kind of forces me to have to show you this stuff. Listen, I have always preached for service-based businesses simply because it allows you to get started without having to spend a penny, learn a skill fast, and monetize it from day one. Keep pretty much everything you make a full-time income with only a few sales a month, and get started while working a full-time job or studying full-time. And this combination of factors was true only for service-based businesses up until about like 6 months ago. Now, something drastic has changed. Because of the applications of AI, you can now have this exact same set of criteria, but with a business that removes the most difficult aspect of a service-based business: actually delivering the service. How? Well, we're going to get onto that later on today. Today, I'm going to reveal the secret of digital products that easily exceed $10,000 a month and why most people fail to make their first sale. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over the secret strategy for finding a winning digital product that generates up to $1,000 a day, even if you don't want to show your face. On Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to access an untapped source of buyers that's currently selling $2 to $3 million a month worth of digital products without spending a dollar on ads. Wednesday, I'll give you the ultimate guide to build a $373 a day business in the next 90 days. And on Thursday, we have a cool one. I'm going to show you how this dad, and I'll introduce him in just a second. Well, actually, you know what? Let me give you the mic drop now. My co-host for this is actually the dad I'm referring to, a father of 3, and he's made over $250 million with digital products to prove that it's not luck. I want to, listen, I know a lot of you guys are going to be watching this stream and you're like, yeah, but you're you, or whatever labels you want to put on me, or whatever projections you want to have, or, oh, I can't do this because of this. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to introduce you to a dad who's done $250 million with digital products over the space of the last 20 years to show you exactly what's working right now. And that gentleman is my co-host. Now, when it comes to starting a business, the question you need to be asking yourself is, what is the right vehicle for me? If you can find the right answer to this question, you've already walked half of the way to your financial freedom, because this is where most people fail. Most people, they put in the hard work, which, by the way, is the most difficult aspect of it. They just forget to ask themselves if they're even putting in the hard work into the right thing. So let me help you answer this question. To find this answer, the first thing you need to understand is that there are only 2 ways to join the upper class: selling something relatively cheap to a lot of people, or selling something relatively expensive to a few people. Both, and this most important part, with high margins. And that's really a key point here, because if you can't keep most of what you make, it doesn't matter how much you sell, you will always be stuck in the middle class. On the other hand, 95% of individuals in the middle class sell something relatively cheap to a few people. And this is probably where you are right now, selling something relatively cheap to a few people. This is the formula for stagnancy and a lifetime of financial struggle. How do you get out of this? By selling something with scaling potential. What is the business with the most scaling potential and, most importantly, the highest margins in 2025? Digital Products 2.0. Now, what even is a digital product in the first place? I know a lot of you guys are curious. Most people try to overcomplicate this, but it's actually super simple. For a product to be considered a digital product, it just needs to follow this rule. It needs to be created and delivered completely digitally. That's it. Okay, that's all. So with that definition in mind, does that mean that a Kindle book is a digital product? Yes, a Kindle book is a digital product. It's created and delivered digitally, so it's a digital product. Can a Notion template be considered a digital product? Yes, a Notion template is also created and delivered digitally, so it's a digital product. Is a spreadsheet a template a digital product? Well, it's created digitally, yes. Is it delivered digitally? Yes, so it's a digital product. An online course is a digital product. Even an email newsletter can be a digital product. A PDF can be a digital product. There are people who sell Premiere editing templates, product mock-ups for Photoshop. I even know a guy on WAP who's currently selling Fortnite maps. Those are all digital products. The possibilities with this are pretty much endless. There are dozens of niches and thousands of topics that you can choose from. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and what is the best format for your digital product. The most important thing here to understand is that you only need to find it once. One single topic to monetize. All we're doing here is we're monetizing a topic. And the best part is all you need is a single successful digital product. You just need to get your topic right once to hit anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 a month. Just like the guy who makes $8,000 $8,000 in the last 30 days with his Fortnite maps without even showing his face. In total, he's made over $78,000 from this single digital product. And I know you're probably thinking, but how do I even find these topics? I don't know anything about them. Don't worry about that. We're going to cover that later on in the challenge, all in due time. Now, more importantly, this is the best type of product there is to sell. I consider digital products the superior type of products because unlike pretty much every single other type of product, digital products don't have a cost of goods. Your cost to sell 100 or 100,000 products is virtually the same, okay? Imagine two different bakeries on the same street. The first bakery makes traditional bread. So for every loaf that they sell, they need to buy more flour, yeast, salt, and pay for the electricity to run their ovens. If they want to serve 100 times more customers, then of course they're going to need 100 more times ingredients, bigger ovens, more bakers, etc., etc. Now, imagine the second bakery discovers a magical oven. Once they perfect a recipe and bake it in the special oven, it creates a master loaf that can be instantly duplicated at no additional cost. Whether they serve 10 customers or 10,000 customers in a day, they use exactly the same amount of ingredients. Their only real cost was in creating that first master loaf, okay? What is the difference? Sorry, I should say that is the difference between traditional products and digital products. With digital products, you invest once in creating something excellent, and then you can just sell it infinitely with no additional product cost. This is why the profit margins of a successful digital product business are simply in a different league compared to any other product. Once you cover your initial creation costs, which can be less than $100, by the way, almost every sale goes straight to your bottom line, aka profit. Meaning with digital products, you have unlimited scale and you get to keep pretty much everything that you make. It's simply the highest profit margin business there is. Digital products essentially fix all the problems that come with physical products: logistics, shipping, storage, stocks, delays, returns, importing tariffs. By the way, don't get me started on tariffs. Like, it's been, even at the eyewear business, like, listen, it's been a lot of uncertainty the last 4 to 6 weeks. All my friends who are in physical product business, it's not fun. Drop shippers, RIP. I would not want to be one right now. Listen, with all that being said, with digital products, something like that will never take you out of business because all of your operations are done digitally. It doesn't matter if you're in US, Canada, Germany, UK, Australia, if you're in China or even South Sudan. Your operation remains exactly the same and you can run it from anywhere that you want. Digital products start with less than $100. They're extremely low risk, zero logistics, fully automated fulfillment. If you sell 10 or you sell 10,000 units, it's the same amount of work. This is the business of the future, fully done digitally. And this is a booming industry that is only in its infancy. Think about 20 years ago. How many people were actually purchasing things regularly online back then? Very few. Nowadays, every single one of us has purchased something online. Not only that, but your mom, your dad, maybe even your grandparents have purchased things online. Usually those things are physical items, meaning it's an industry that has already reached maturity. There's not that much more room to grow. Now, digital products, totally different ballgame. Most people haven't purchased a digital product yet, which is a great thing, by the way, because it's kind of like being in Amazon 20 years ago. If you are here, you're probably the perfect candidate to take advantage of this booming industry that is about to explode. Why? Because you're ahead of the curve. Just the fact that you're here in this challenge, spending 5 days learning the secrets of this market, already puts you ahead of 99% of people. You are already ahead of 99% of people just being here, okay? You're understanding how this market works. You're seeing dozens of examples of people making money from it. You probably even purchased digital products yourself. I mean, think about it. Have you ever purchased a book on Kindle, an online course, a PDF, a spreadsheet, a template for something online? If you have, go ahead and drop a yes in the chat. Drop a yes in the chat if you've ever purchased something like that. I'm going to go ahead and take a little water break and